This lesson, we're going to be setting up our HTML structure in order to use that to build out our JavaScript code. So first of all, let's create a button. And this is the button that's going to trigger off the modal pop-up window. We also need to build the modal element. So you can create that within a section, give it a class. So this can be the modal wrapper. And then inside, we'll have a div with a class for the body and adding in a header. And then within the header, this is going to be the title of the modal. And then also adding in a button that we can use to close the modal. Then we need another element. So this can be for the body. So the modal main area. Give this one a name of modal main. And lastly, let's also add in a footer element. And then refresh. We'll take a look at that. So we also need to apply some styling to this to make it look more like a modal. So adding into our style tags, select the element with a class of modal wrapper. And then within modal wrapper, we'll display block and setting it to be top and left of 0. The width can be 100%. Height as well, 100%. Background color. So this is going to be the overlay that we're going to be showing. So setting that as an RGBA color so we can include opacity, making it black and around 50%. And we'll do an overflow of Y and attaching a scroll option to that. So in case the content is larger than what we have within our screen size, we can allow for having a scroll option for the modal wrapper. Then setting up the modal body, give this one a width of 50%, moving it left 25%, top 10%, and position it absolute. And let's also set a background color for this. So for now, we'll just set it as Alice Blue. So save that and refresh. So that's our modal so far. We need to also adjust the close button. We can position this absolute as well and give it a position of top and right. So it's in the top right-hand corner and refresh. So that gives us the option to close it. And just a few more adjustments to make it look better. I'm also going to update this and give it a class of H2 so we can select it instead of having an H2 because this is giving, by default, it's giving some of the border around it. So bringing it into there with H2, and we can apply the styling here. So adding in a background color, setting that to black, updating the color to be white, making the font bigger, and let's refresh, see what that looks like. And I'll move this one in. Move this one in so it's in line, as well as clean that one up. Within the modal main, you can apply some styling as well. And apply styling as needed till your application looks the way that you want to present it. You can apply some styling as well for the footer. So center align the text, and I'll make the font smaller for the footer, as well as applying a background color. And we can refresh and update the color to be white as well, to be in line with the header. So I'm going to add in just a little bit of padding as well around. So now that we've applied some styling to our content, we're ready to introduce our JavaScript. So one last piece of the puzzle that we needed to do, and that's to hide the modal. And usually the way that I do that is I like to set all of these values, build out the modal, get it looking the way that I want it to look, and then hide it. So we'll apply a class of show modal to the element so that we know that that's when we want to show that particular element. And I'll add it in for now so that we can see the modal being displayed. And that will be added into the same element. So just refresh that, and then we've got our modal back. And we want to take the modal wrapper and apply a display property of none. So we're ready to apply our JavaScript functionality. So when we remove the show modal class from the show modal element, and we're going to be applying it using JavaScript, you're going to see that it disappears. But we had the opportunity to structure and build out the visuals of our application. So next we're ready to create content and make it interactive using JavaScript. So that's coming up next. So go ahead and build out your modal, apply styling as needed, and it doesn't have to look exactly like mine, as long as you've got the same functionality where you've got a button and essentially an element that we can hide and show when the button gets clicked.